Hi, hello, and welcome. So, I want to begin this new segment that I'll be doing on Saturdays. It's going to be a bit laid back, just, weekend vibe type of thing. Just me and you, just us chilling and talking. So, it may not be every Saturday. I think I might try to do one Saturday a month, but it's just a laid back, chilled back type of video on the channel. But I'll continue to post regularly on Tuesdays and on Thursdays by 6 p.m. So we'll see how this particular style and type of video goes. We're calling this Love and Life Unfiltered. So grab a drink, grab a cup of tea, grab a snack, and you're welcome to episode 1. All right, you're welcome to the channel. If you're new here, you're welcome. So definitely like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. So I'm approaching the 1 year mark in my marriage, and I've got to say it's pretty exciting. Like, just thinking about hitting this milestone is very exciting. And I've had moments of sober reflection, leading up to this moment, and of course throughout this 1 year. And so I thought to document my thoughts, of course, and I thought to share with you, my wonderful audience, on some lessons that I've learned, and some of the things, some of the reflections, some of my thoughts, some things that turned out to be not what I expected at all, and the things that I did expect that turned out to not be as I expected they would be. So yeah, I just wanted to come and share. And so yeah, you're welcome. So honestly, coming in, I was thinking I'm simply the best thing to happen to my husband. I'm going to make his life so much better. I'm going to be the perfect helpmate. But my, oh my. I learned that the help you want to give your spouse might not be the help that they want or the help that they need. So I guess, yeah, that is my first point, is that you've got to learn to give your spouse the help that they want, not the help that you think that they need. In learning this lesson was in times when I'm like, I've already figured out how we need to do what it is that we need to do. And then I'm like, no, wait, we're going to do it like this. We're going to do it like this, do that, do this. And in the heat of that moment, like in the heat of the passion of just wanting to help, you know, my tone wasn't like the best. It wasn't the greatest, wasn't the nicest tone. And even though it was coming from, a good place of just wanting to help, my tone didn't come off respectful. When it's like a thing of, it's not what you said, it's how you said what you said, you know, and in that moment, that was not the help that he was needing, just because I thought I knew what it is we should do and how we should do what we should do does not mean that that was the help he needed from me at that time. But that was where communication and patience came in, like on my husband's part, because he was able to then communicate to me what it is that he actually does, in fact, need my help with, and what part of his life he actually does need my help with. And then he was also like patient with me with on learning some things, and in trying to you know help when the help was not needed or asked for. So in times when I was like giving those unsolicited suggestions, it was giving, I know better, I'm smarter, and it wasn't like it was just all coming from a place of, oh, I want to help. And I've noticed that as women, we have that tendency where we really want to help. We've figured it out, we've solved the problem. So why can I not just step in and help you and tell you how it's supposed to be done? But you see, it's important to understand and respect your husband's needs and not impose, your solutions on him. You're two different individuals. You can't do things the exact same way. You can't like the exact same things. You can't, see things the same way. You're two different individuals. You can't always assume as well that your way is best. I just took my time, right, and just learned from observing And with my husband being patient with me, of course, and communicating with me, I was able to learn, okay, what does he actually need my help with? When is the right time to offer a suggestion? And just understanding how men are different from women has really helped me in knowing when and what kind of help to render my husband. So yeah, it was a bit of an interesting one, just learning that the kind of help I came in fire blazing preparing to offer was not really the kind of help he wanted, and so I had to listen to what his needs were and know how I could come in and help. And so this brings me to understanding that while your husband is your friend, he should still be respected as the head. Honestly, it took me a while to wrap my head around this dual role, like friend versus husband, as in like that this is my head, right? It's an interesting dynamic. It's like two different offices that he occupies, and you've got to know when he's operating in each one, and then how to relate, how to respond, you know per time. And this is something I wish many women would understand, because we always say, oh, I want to marry my friend, but you can't go on relating with him like your friend in your marriage. I mean, like, not all the time, because there will be moments where he will have to act out his role as the head, and then he's not trying to be your friend. Right? He's not trying to be your friend. He's taking a leadership role. He knows he will be accountable for your family. So, this is one of the ways that respect and submission, and reverence to your husband comes in, because he's being your husband. He's not just being a friend, and I'll dive deeper into this in another episode. But for now, just know that balancing, you just understanding the difference and the roles and how he's, you know, a friend and a husband, balancing those roles, trust me, it is key to a healthy marriage. So honestly, these have been very beautiful lessons to learn. I feel like a more refined version of myself, because I came in with my full chest thinking I'm a virtuous woman. I'm going to virtuous everything, around here. I came in guns blazing. But then that leads me to my next lesson. Virtue is of the heart. It's not by trying to act virtuous. I used to think that being virtuous meant acting the part, but real virtue comes from the heart. It's not something you can fake. If you're acting, you'll tire out one day. The Proverbs 31 woman that we know as virtuous, or rather as the virtuous woman, is about a woman of noble character. Your character is innate. It is what causes you to do what you do outwardly. So in your marriage, your character is zoomed in, right? It's zoomed in. You will see who you really are. If you weren't really patient, if you weren't really kind, if you weren't really helpful, after all, you'll find out in marriage. So, you know, excuse me. I realized that it wasn't about cooking many nice and, flamboyant meals that would please my husband, but it was my heart, my sweet heart towards him, my character. So when he pointed areas in which he wanted me to make adjustments, I wasn't high strung and like stuck in my opinions. He knew that I had a gentle and a teachable heart that was willing to make adjustments. In my heart, I was willing to be selfless, and it continues to play out, allowing me to be effortlessly virtuous. I can easily help my husband go pick up something that he could probably, have done by himself. You know, I'm able to mentally process my words to make sure that my words aren't hurtful or disrespectful. I've never been a naga, and I'm still not a naga. So it's the investment of your character that will play out in your marriage. I say this quite often, so that's why I say develop good character. You won't be able to sustain pretending to be who you are not, trying to act virtuous. I was saying to my husband the other day, I said, with because I was meditating on, virtue being of the heart and not in acting virtuous. So I was like, imagine a husband and wife at home, and maybe the husband is saying something, maybe he's expressing something that he didn't like, or something he wish you could do differently, and the woman is just sitting there thinking, she's just looking. If I maybe her face is just normal, She's looking like she's listening, but in her heart, she's saying, I beg, this man should he should just finish talking. When he's done talking, he will rest. Should be how I will boil that meat is still how I will boil that meat. So he can be there talking. Anything he wants to say, he can say it. But your face is, oh no, sweetheart, don't worry, I will do it. I'll do it. But in your heart, you're like, do what? Do what? Whatever I give you to eat in this house, you will eat. You think that you're being virtuous because you're cooking and you're cleaning and you're doing everything. But the heart. So virtue is of the heart. It's not by trying to act virtuous. It's not by trying to play the role of who you think a virtuous woman is. It really is your character that will play out. It's your character because I've honestly something I have noticed, and I'm thankful that I I learned it now. I wish I knew it before, but thankfully at least I've maintained good character before I even came in, But there were some things that even I shocked myself, because like I said, marriage will zoom in on your character. I didn't know that I was really sharp with words. Not like harmful, but like I can give a quick answer that can just be cheeky, It's not rude, it's not disrespectful, but it's like when someone is playing a fast one. How do I describe it? I don't do it anymore, But I didn't know that it was something I did until I came in and I was just me and my husband and I was just giving all sorts of answers, So um if I had just been trying to if I had just been trying to play the role of who I think a virtuous woman is, pretending, your character will not be able to keep up. Who you are will come out. It will not be able to keep up. So virtue is of the heart, right? It's not by trying to act and play the role of who and what you think a virtuous woman is. So invest in your character, develop good character, develop godly character. It's really what will sustain you, in your marriage. Like there's times when me and my husband are in the office and he's like, oh, can you help me with a cup of tea? When I think of the process of having to go downstairs, turn on the kettle and everything, but because in my character, I'm genuinely helpful and I try to be kind, that is what propels me, even when I don't feel like doing that. But if you're saying, I'm a virtuous woman, oh, so I have to get up and go and do it, one day, you will tire and say, Oga, go and do it yourself. You get tired one day, right? So virtue is of the heart. Um, it's not by acting the role. Speaking of acting, my friends, marriage is not like the movies. It's not like the movies portray. Like the things that we've been made to think, oh, we are all going to like, we may not like them, and that's fine. That hugging from the back in the kitchen. Oh my gosh. I didn't used to like it. At first I did not like it. Like I'm big on health and safety and like, being cautious. I did not want to be hugged from the back. And at first I was like, but I thought I'm supposed to like. This is what we see in the movies, and they just miss it's something you just aspire to. Oh, you can't wait to have that experience. But nah, 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 nah. Marriage is not like the movies. Everything about marriage is not like the movies, you know, portray. The intimacy, the day-to-day living, the romance. It's not like the movies portray. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. You see, because your marriage is up to you to script and to design, right? The movies, they are somebody else's script. It's somebody else's vision of what they think a marriage or a relationship or romance should be like. But this is your marriage. It is you and your spouse, your husband or your wife together that get to determine what your marriage is like. You don't have to live up to or try to recreate and curate what it is that you have seen in the movies. No, you write the script for your own marriage. It is up to you. The movies are not the standard. Don't even bother. Don't even bother. Like, no, 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 no. If the things you've seen in the movies are not happening in your marriage, it doesn't mean that your marriage is any less blissful and spicy and romantic and beautiful and interesting and intimate and special. Okay? And oh yes, cuddling. cuddling is an art form. It is a skill in life to be mastered. Aha. When I didn't automatically know how to cuddle, I was just surprised. I'm like, I thought cuddling was easy, but it's like, how do you position yourself? How do you like people who do it? How do you people do it? You know, when you've like laid on his hand for so long and you've like obstructed blood flow. I'm like, this is an unsustainable way of living. I can't just be obstructing my man's blood flow because I want to cuddle, So this one is just on a lighter note, but yeah, cuddling is definitely an art form. But guys, see, cuddling is nice. Once you have cuddled and they have cuddled you, there's no going back. And I mean your husband. I don't mean a boyfriend or somebody else. Yeah, so yeah, no, cuddling is nice. It's really, really nice. So finally, and this is a truth that we often overlook, but men and women are inherently different, and that's perfectly okay. Our differences mean that our needs are different, our approaches to life is different or are different, you know, even our ways of communication will vary. So, understanding and accepting these differences can make a huge difference in your relationship, in your marriage. So, the sooner you embrace them, the better off you'll be. Like, honestly, I've just literally, men and women are so different, so different, right? Like some of these things are things I go deeper in, like discussions with members of my community, and if you want to join, the link is in the description. But it pays to really understand that men think differently, women think differently, men see differently, women see differently, men hear differently, women hear differently, men want different things, women want different things. I know you might be thinking, me and my husband, we are so similar. We like the same things. We want the same things. Cool, wonderful. But fundamentally, men and women are different, honestly. Um, of course, you have your beautiful lifestyle together, like similar lifestyles, but your needs are different. Your communication styles are different. A basic difference is the fact that men want respect, women want love. Two completely different things, you see, and that's almost bringing me back to my point one in terms of giving the help that your spouse actually wants. So men want respect, women want love. It's two different needs altogether. They are not the same thing. And this is I mean, you can see it in scripture. The Bible says that the wives should reverence their husband. That is respect. And then husbands, love your wives. Two completely different assignments, two completely different needs. You see, so if you can grasp that and just understand it, that you know what, men and women are different, the needs are different, it's different. Trust me, it will really help you. It will go a long way. At least for me, that was something that I had to majorly start learning and understanding when I got married. Like before, it didn't really matter much. I mean, I knew we were different, but there was no practical way to understand it. But trust me, now I have a good hang of it, and thankfully I'm growing, I'm learning, and so yeah. This was a lot to pour out, but I hope you did learn something. And of course, I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me. Let me know what else you want me to share here. That's on the Saturday Love and Life Unfiltered. We can do Q&As, we can do story times. I love a good story time. If you know me from Instagram, you know I love a good story time. So let me know in the comments, and of course, you can keep up with me on my socials. You can join my community, and of course, you can book a one-on-one session with me on my website. All the links and everything you need to know is in the description box. So thank you for watching this video. Do like it, share it, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.